are back again for another, we still don't have a name for our podcast, another installment of the Phoenix Trinity podcast here. If you haven't noticed, we're kind of doing a few episodes back to back since we have everyone here in Florida right now. Kevin is from, out west, Hutch from a little bit north of Florida, but still the south.
That's not south.
Georgia? That's the south.
It ain't south till you get past the panhandle.
True.
Them fuckers ain't even south.
Yeah.
Don't start something then. It's like Texas barbecue and Kansas City barbecue.
Who's better?
Well, that's easy, ours.
See?
So we are back, and this time we're going to go over a little bit of, the big guy got some barrels and a slide for this gun to at least to be able to start doing some testing. On the backside, what a lot of people don't normally get to see is that we do things like this. We'll take, kind of frames and parts that we have available and kind of start down the path of testing something and then make changes. And then once we get to where we're a little bit comfortable with it, then we try to do a little more of the torture testing at that point. So we kind of grab what we have on hand, get the feel for things, kind of shoot it, see how it goes, and then make some changes. So we've got the aluminum grip that doesn't have the swell on the outside, the curve. I think we're going to go with the tack frame.
Yes. This is a steel one. So.
And maybe try an aluminum. So we'll try this in the steel and then also try an aluminum and a tack rail. And you've got a slide here. It looks like you started doing something on the slide and then like it stops. So like on this side there's slide cuts and this side there's nothing.
I like to do one side. That way if you don't like it, you don't waste the whole thing. You can practice on the other side.
So you're going to leave this open to trying things on here.
I'll just throw in something together. I'm like classic panel cuts.
The yin and the yang. It's just the yin and yang slide.
Yeah, I just like there's something different because they're at an angle and they go up on a tri-top. But
all
I don't know
right.
how you're feeling that day.
So we got this, which is the right size for
actually,
there.
that is actually a Honcho length slide.
It's a what?
Length. This
Length
one
slide.
is a morph length slide.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think we're going to use the morph length slide.
Where are we at here? How can I show off? If we're
They're a
doing
quarter
that?
inch shorter.
So it's a quarter inch
Yep.
shorter. All right.
So
More room for comps.
So on
Couch.
this tactical gun, we're going to do the plate system in the back.
It'll be kind of like the morph co-witness sights in front of the optic. And as far as dots, I mean, the dots are really limitless.
We've gotten a lot of really good feedback about putting the iron sight in the front of the plate in front of the optic versus in the back, like a lot of other companies are doing.
I don't know why anybody would put it in the back. It's such a that's the
To
first
me, it's
thing you look at.
To me,
like
it's
an
a
iPhone.
distraction. And then, obviously, we were playing around at the range yesterday. I really I like how it goes. It's easy to find your irons if you need them, but your dot is first and foremost centered. So
Right. I mean, that's why everybody's like, well, why is the co-witness toward the bottom? I don't want it in the middle. I want it back up,
yeah,
not
it's not
primary.
distraction. Right.
Yeah, I thought
Should
it
be in the
worked.
bottom third of the glass, in my opinion.
All right.
I'm sure somebody will tell us otherwise, but
That's their own opinion. It's kind of like buttholes. Everybody's got one.
yep.
I don't think I've ever heard you call them a butthole.
Theirs probably stinks too.
I'm sure it
I
does.
could-
So we got a couple barrels here. Let's start with the one that I'm excited about, but not as excited as the other one because I think that one looks really cool. So tell us what we got here and the thought process you put in behind it.
Well, since we went off kind of the concept of kind of how the Honcho works with the length of it. This is almost kind of like an IPSC length, but I want to be able to make this bigger but keep the overall length of the gun down. That's why I decided that we're going to use the morph length slide so that way we can make this bigger and stay under the 5 inches.
Okay. So the end of
started
the
out with
barrel will be 5 inches.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically the length of the barrel right there will be 5 inches. And I started out where, looks cool. We'll do it like that. Even the front sight, I'm not even 100% certain, like, what is tactical? I mean, is it fiber optic? Is it, like,
Probably
just serrated?
Uh,
Or is it true glow? I mean, I don't know. I don't know
The
what people
fiber
like.
optic though gives you options. You can change it. You get something on it, clean
Yeah.
stuff. You can change
I mean,
it.
I think
and
almost like we
set.
did on the Morph, the standard Glock sight's pretty interchangeable situation. So if people do want to change it, they can.
Oh, but I don't think you can change it.
No,
It's
I'm
made
not going
onto
to
the
make
barrel.
the sight.
Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
because
Yeah.
since it's going to be a real tactical kind of gun, I want the sight radius. I want as far as, I mean, I'm gaining 3/4 of an inch further forward.
So what does that do with it being farther forward with the front sight?
It just makes it easier to pick up on targets. I
yeah.
mean, it's more accurate. The longer you can get them away from each other, usually the more
Sure.
accurate that the gun is. But that's kind of the thinking behind it. Then we went, all right, what do you do if you want to put a comp on that? Because now you got a front sight hanging on it.
Well, and so these barrels are the same as our entire line of barrels for all guns. They are one piece. So everything on that barrel, the front sight kind of notch sticking up, the sight block on the front, all of it's one piece machined from solid.
One piece.
Yeah.
Machine from one piece.
Yeah. One piece from one piece. So what's
And
this other one? I'm a little
then-
excited about this one.
This one is actually a kind of design I seen back in the 80s, and I thought it looked really cool because it's something you don't see every day. I don't even know what we're going to call this thing. So basically, you take a sight block barrel, and we go in there and open up the inside so it's got a nice wall. Then you put the ports at a 45 so they go around the front side.
So it's going to push the gases up into
At
the
a 45,
side
yep.
instead of right in front of.
Instead of burning the fiber out of the front side.
Yes.
That way you get a lot in a small package. I mean, you're still getting the benefit of a bigger sight radius, but you still have a comp in there.
Yeah. I like it.
Something different. I like different looking stuff. I don't like make stuff.
Gas dissipation device.
I don't like it to look the same as everybody
Well,
else's.
well-
What fun would that be?
I mean, I like it. I think it looks really cool here in the front with the ports in it. Now, if someone's shooting this a lot with the ports going this way, does it make it any harder to clean or stuff to do? Like, you know, because I get a lot of stuff on the customer service side of things. So I'm sure that's a question that I'm going to get at some point.
Ultrasonic cleaner. Frequently.
So like a jewelry cleaner, just,
Yeah.
you know, Harbor Freight has them, just one of those. What would you put in with it to clean it?
That I know.
Purple K.
Purple K.
The purple stuff. Not
Purple
Purple
Power?
K.
I was like,
Purple
Purple
K is firefighting, aviation.
Is this
but,
like Circle K? But
Purple stuff works good.
Purple Power.
Also, if they spray that initially with the anti-seize, the welder's anti-seize,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it helps it a bunch.
Anti-spatter. I didn't even think about that.
anti-spatter, that will help keep the lead buildup
From sticking.
nearly as bad, and then it'll actually clean out a lot easier. But that's one of them things you got to kind of do from the jump. As long as you do it initially, it's a great thing.
Do we have any predictions on this as far as like ammo and, you know, what kind and what to avoid? You know, obviously it's not going to be, you know, the super overcharged 9 major, but this should be able to handle essentially everything off the shelf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Correct.
mean, it should shoot all the way up to basically plus P. I wouldn't go any further than that because you would really
Probably.
need to change the recoil spring in the gun.
Probably, exactly. It's probably going to
It
be
just
so
goes-
effective, we're going to have to look at re-springing
Yeah.
from what we're used to springing. Absolutely.
So we're going to have to play with some spring
Yeah.
rates. And, I think it looks really cool. I kind of like it.
And is it gold bead a thing? I know like the old timers, they love gold.
Well, we
bead
got that
stuff.
one guy. He was hung up on gold beads.
I never really came across. I was like gold bead.
But
What
I
is
mean,
that?
you're durable, you're slick, you're permanent, you're might be something to think of.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that brass will be here long after everything else.
So what do you think, Kevin?
I think we make a whole bunch of them. I think that, it is, the comps and red dots are definitely trending in the pistol world for sure. And as long as it provides the actual function on the gun, I say why not have it on there. And I think after doing some testing, we've seen that having the comp makes a difference. Even in lighter 9mm loads, it's still different.
Oh yeah.
And you're
Direction of
still
gas.
getting that fast, flat reset of that gun settling back on that target after you break your shot that you're getting in the honcho. I mean, why not? Anything can get you back on target quicker,
Get you faster second shot.
right? So that follow-up shot's super important, just as important as the first one.
This is-
So I think comps help.
So
Yep.
my next question is, I see that we have a, kind of an irons sight block barrel, and then we have the one with the irons, but also with the ports on it. what about a threaded option?
I mean, everybody likes to shoot quiet.
I don't know. I mean,
I think people love suppress, and it's getting easier finally to get suppressors quicker, and them not being in jail with the ATF as long as they used to be. So,
I mean, now you got the little kiosk for silencer.
yep,
Silencer code. You can go
it
over
is
there and put all
much
your
is
stuff in.
much easier to get a silencer than it used to be as far as the process goes. So, I think having a threaded barrel option, especially on a tactical gun, is going to be, people do like that.
So we're gonna have this so it's gonna sit flat in the front. That
Yeah.
was one of my little
I
inputs that
know.
I think will look pretty cool. I like the look, especially with our square lug on our linkless barrel system. I think that's gonna look a lot nicer. I know there's some other companies doing kind of the flat front, but I think with our square, kind of in the slide here, and the lug on there, I think it's gonna look a lot better and kind of tie it all together. What do you guys
Definitely.
think?
Yeah.
And kind of square the trigger guard, I think.
And plus, it'll give it a little dimension. By the time you put the tack rail on there, it'll kind of break up some of the front, so it actually has a little dimension to it. I think it'll look good.
Well, if we're doing it square in the front though, how does a threaded barrel, is that gonna look weird with just putting, the thread protector on there? Cause it'll essentially come here, or are you gonna have something that sticks?
I think we're going to have to
Out.
make it stick out.
Yeah, it'll
Because
have
I
to
don't
stick
want to
out.
really
It'll have to.
jeopardize the looks
Yeah.
of it not being flush in the front. I just think it'll look weird.
So we're gonna have the barrel flush in the front, but then
Threaded.
threaded, so it'll go on, and I think that would look really nice by the time you attach the suppressor on it, coming off of the square front. I think. So are we gonna do the same type of thread protector like we did for the morphs? Where you can actually, if you need to get it off and it's on there knurled and you're trying something, you can actually put a wrench on it
Oh, you don't
and
need
take
vice
it off.
grips? I don't know. I mean, it's still up in the air. Kind of see how it ties in with the gun, but I like that style. I just think it makes the front of the gun look kind of cool looking. Because it's different. Nobody else does one like that.
Yeah, I like it, and I think you gotta have it. So.
Yeah.
Hutch, got any thoughts on the threaded barrel and the front? How much do you shoot suppressed a lot, or?
No, I do not. But it has become a lot more popular. And like Kevin said, with the new kiosk system, we're fixing to see a big surge in our industry. People wanting these guns where they can run suppressed.
Well, maybe when we work on the suppressed barrel and get it done, maybe we could bring Dylan or Steven Sanders in. I know both of them have, I think Dylan's like
Send
the
it to
the
my house, or I'll
silencer,
go to Dylan's house, and we will have
the
some fun.
silencer daddy out there, him and,
14
suppressed.
suppressors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea, and I think we're kind of off in at least a direction. So as these are coming out, you guys have comments, things you want to add that you'd like to see. If it makes sense, we'll see about throwing it in and see if it's a good option.
Yeah.
So for the next video, we're going to work on. I guess we've got a slide for it, so we can put it together, talk a little bit about the function, and then we can hit the range.
Yeah.
We'll have everything
That's the
ready
best
to go test it and see at least, kind of how we're going in the direction, see what kind of recoil it has and rise and all of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. We'll get to working on that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
All right, take
See ya.
care.
See ya.
Toodles.